What's happening, people? Good morning, Europe. Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome everyone to our live stream. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch TV in an effort of bringing the financial markets to your doorstep and help each and every one of you make informed decisions about investments and the amazing sea of these markets. The episode today is proudly sponsored by our partners at forexcandmarkets.com. If you like what you see, guys, please remember to like, share, and subscribe and support us in delivering more great content. Feel free to type your comments and interact with me during this broadcast, and I will do my best to answer every single question you have. Welcome to the European trading session, everyone. A few hours ago, we had the final presidential debate between U.S. President Donald Trump and his rival Joe Biden, and U.S. markets were almost flat during the debate, with both parties throwing accusations to one another. However, Donald Trump's behavior was more restrained than during the first presidential debate on September 29th, where he constantly interrupted both his rival Joe Biden and the moderator Chris Wallace. The U.S. stock markets closed the day in green yesterday, the first positive close they had this week. With the stimulus measures widely expected, we saw House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi being optimistic that the deal would be reached pretty soon, she said, saying that progress was being made in talks with the White House. However, the White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow warned that there were still significant policy differences unlikely to be resolved before the elections. So again, the stimulus measures, guys, are still dragging. We might see Donald Trump releasing something just ahead of the elections. Okay, but most probably we're going to see a result after the 3rd of November U.S. presidential elections. Now, on the European front, UK has signed its first major post-Brexit deal with Japan this morning, and the core retail sales numbers came out in green, giving a bit of hope to the UK's pressured economy. Later on today, UK will also announce the Producer Manufacturing Index numbers, which, if they come out in green again, will probably give the pound a boost to close the week on a positive note. Both the euro and the pound suffered heavy losses overnight, giving back some of the gains they had this week. Okay, let's see how the markets will react today to the news that is coming out from all over the world. It's quite a busy day in the economic calendar, guys, and I'm going to share that with you in a minute. Right, moving forward, the US dollar index traded higher overnight on hopes of a bigger stimulus bill, but the pressure is far from over, with the Producer Manufacturing Index to be announced a few minutes after the US opening today. Right, crude oil and Brent oil both traded lower on the Asian session on worries of oversupplied markets and little demand, and also COVID cases reaching all-time high in Europe did not help supporting the price, despite OPECs' efforts of bringing back the balance into the markets. Gold futures, guys, also traded lower overnight, coming back to Monday's levels at 1905, keeping traders pinned in the swing that started in the first week of October. And the absolute champion, guys, the Bitcoin traded higher overnight, breaking the 13,000 level last night and looking more and more like a safe haven asset, doing really, really well in the last few days when all the other currency pairs and commodities were doing really, really bad. Bitcoin started acting more like a safe haven asset recently with all this pressure that's in the markets now. Let's see how the charts look like this morning, guys, and then I'm going to share a couple of very interesting articles with you. We're going to start with oil, guys, which, as I was saying, gave back a bit of gains overnight. We see it currently trading at 40.42 per barrel, with the RSI and the stochastic, if you look at the bottom of the charts, pointing upwards, yeah. But still, it's very, very early in the morning. The market's only opened 5 minutes ago. So we're going to get a clear signal and a clear indication of what's happening with oil prices in the next half an hour to 45 minutes once the markets calm down a bit. Moving on to the euro, which is currently trading at 118.05. We see a positive opening for the euro. Yeah, as we look at the last candlestick, we can see it opening in green. We can see the RSI and the stochastic at the bottom of the chart, again, moving upwards and pointing upwards. So with a bit of good news from Europe today, guys, the euro will probably get back some of the losses it suffered on the US trading session as well as on the Asian trading session. Let's move on to the pound. Again, positive opening for the pound as well, which is currently trading at 130.63. Probably the good news that they signed the new deal with Japan. The first post Brexit deal with Japan will bring a bit of positivity today on the markets, and as well as the consumer price numbers that were released half an hour ago. Okay, that all came out in green. Okay, might again give the markets a bit of boost today. The USD JPY pair is currently trading at 104.76. Again, mixed opening on the markets today. We see the US dollar trying to push a bit higher. But again, there is something coming in the economic calendar in the afternoon. Let's see how much that will weigh on the direction of the US dollar for the day. We see the Australian dollar, again, doing fairly well, even though it suffered a bit on the Asian trading session. Yeah, positive opening for the Aussie dollar. Let's have a quick look and see if we had any announcements on the Aussie dollar this morning. No, we only had on the Kiwi dollar, the consumer price index, which came out in red, came out below consensus expectations. Okay, so probably the Aussie dollar will move higher on the back of a weaker dollar, if that's the case today. Moving on to the USD Canadian pair, we see the US dollar advancing a bit on the Asian trading session, but as things stand right now, with the RSI and the stochastic pointing downwards and the last red candlestick that we see on the charts, we might see the US dollar dropping a bit today. We're moving to the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, guys, which, as I was saying earlier on, closed the day in green for the first time this week. Okay, last night, there is the Dow Jones as well. Let's see how they're going to finish the week, guys, because it's very, very important. We are still in the middle of the earnings season, and we're going to have some more big names announcing their quarterly figures later on today. The US dollar index, which advanced on the US trading session as well as on the Asian trading session last night, apparently it's heading to the downside after the European opening, currently trading at 93 flat, with the RSI and the stochastic pointing sharply lower, okay, and turning around from the overbought levels. Gold futures traded lower yesterday on the US trading session, started trading slightly higher on the Asian trading session, and after the European opening today, we see gold trading at 1909.7, and by the looks of it, yeah, on the back of a weak dollar, it might push a bit higher today, sending gold into a bit of profit again after giving away all the gains it had in the last 48 hours, which sum up to around the $20 mark. And the champion, guys, the absolute champion for the week is the Bitcoin, which a few hours ago managed to break the $13,000 mark, trading as high as 13,149.6. We see a bit of a pullback now. Apparently, the candlestick formations are settling above a support level. Okay, it's currently trading at 12,916. Yeah, just a few dollars short of the $13 mark. Fantastic rally for the Bitcoin this week, guys, which jumped over $1,000 in a very, very little time. Now, as I promised you, we're gonna read a couple of very, very interesting articles, guys. I want to start with UK signing its first major post-Brexit trade deal with Japan. Britain and Japan formally signed the trade agreement this morning, making the UK's first big post-Brexit deal on trade, as it continues to struggle to agree on a deal with its closest trading partners in the European Union. Well, obviously, because UK is not trying to ditch Japan, but they are trying to ditch the European Union. So obviously, you're going to have a bit more pressure on the EU side of things. This is the first new free trade deal to be agreed since the UK once again became an independent trading nation. The signing comes after Truss and Japanese Foreign Minister reached a broad agreement in September. I'm going to struggle to pronounce the Japanese Foreign Minister name, so I'm just going to skip it. It's the Japanese Foreign Minister. Okay. Now, Motegi pointed out that the signing came about in just 4.5 months since the start of negotiations, and said this is a manifestation of the determination of Japan and the UK to carry on vigorously promoting free trade. Britain has said the deal meant 99% of its exports to Japan would be tariff-free, and that it could increase trade by 15.2 billion pounds, which is about 19.9, almost $20 billion in the long run compared with 2018. The deal removes Britain's tariffs on Japanese cars in stages 2.0 in 2026, which is the same as in the Japan-EU trade agreement. Motegi said after the signing that he had agreed with Truss to work together so that the deal will come into force on January 1st, 2021. He also said Japan welcomes Britain's interest in joining the 11-member Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP, free trade deal, and intends to provide all the necessary support. Japan is already a member of the CPTPP, which also links Canada, Australia, Brunei, Chile, Malaysia, Mexico, New Zealand, Peru, Singapore, and Vietnam. So this was the good news that came from UK minutes ago. Let's move on to the European stock markets, which are seen trading mixed at the open today, with investors digesting fresh curfew measures in Europe and final US presidential debate before the November election, as well as the ongoing stimulus negotiations. At 2:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the DAX futures contract in Germany traded 0.3% lower. CAC 40 futures in France climbed 0.1%, and the FTSE 100 futures in UK rose 0.2%. Obviously, for the FTSE 100 futures in UK, I'm sure this deal that they signed with Japan only minutes ago or hours ago is weighing heavily. The final debate between U.S. President Donald Trump and his Democrat challenger Joe Biden took place last night, an event that many saw as Trump's last chance to substantially eat into Biden's poll lead ahead of the November 3rd poll. It was slightly more civilized debate this time around, but Trump failed to make up for lost ground from the first debate. OCBC wealth management senior strategist Vasu Menon told Reuters earlier on. Also helping investors' confidence Friday was the news of the first approved COVID-19 treatment after Gilead Sciences received US FDA approval on Thursday for its antiviral therapy to treat the virus. Guys, remember, Donald Trump kind of promised that he's going to do his best to deliver the vaccine before the elections. Maybe this is the move. Maybe this is the ace that Donald Trump has in his sleeve to give him enough ground to win the U.S. elections. Now, reported COVID cases in Europe have more than doubled in the last 10 days, guys, sadly crossing the 200,000 cases daily for the first time on Thursday, according to a Reuters tally. Right, very, very bad. What is happening in Europe and all over the world, guys, with the COVID-19 cases? There is good news that a vaccine was supposedly found. Yeah, we have two vaccines, the one in Russia that no one really knows a lot of details about, and the one in US. Okay, let's see, we have something going on in Europe as well. So let's see who's going to be the first one that's going to release the vaccine and potentially heal the world, yeah? In UK, in other news, Barclays posted a 38% rise in revenue in dollar terms in the third quarter. Well done, Barclays, helped by another strong performance from its investment bank and markets division. Very, very, very good. The European data slate includes key PMI data for the region, while UK retail sales impressed, climbing 1.5% on the month in September, above 0.4% gain predicted. Now, oil prices slipped slightly today, slipped more than slightly, to be honest, consolidating the previous session's strong gains after Russian President Vladimir Putin chose not to rule out extending record supply cuts in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies, a group known as OPEC Plus, faces a decision on whether to change its output policy at the meeting scheduled to start in late 4 November, amid pressure on fuel demand caused by fresh COVID restrictions. Okay, so the pressure on all the asset classes, guys, on the most traded assets is far from over. Okay, is far from over. We're gonna have some more news coming in soon. Now, let's get some trading signals, guys, from investing.com. Let's start with the European indices. After the European opening today, we see the FTSE 100 futures set in a strong buy on a 5 minutes and 15 minutes time frame. If the strong buy will continue, guys, then probably the hourly and the daily signals will change as well, sending the FTSE 100 futures higher today. We see the CAC 40 futures from France in a strong buy on a 5-minute chart. Okay, apparently a bit of positive opening today. We're looking at the DAX futures in Germany, guys, again set in a strong buy on a 5-minute chart and a buy on a 15-minute. Let's see. All eyes on the hourly, guys, as the markets settle after the opening. Then if the hourly turns into a strong buy as well, that means a lot of buying power on the European indices. We see the Euro Stoxx 50 again on a strong buy, so positive opening at the European opening for the European indices today. Now, having a quick look at the economic calendar, guys, once again, yeah, we see what happened in the UK. In the morning, we just had the French producer manufacturing index released, which came out in red, unfortunately. Probably that's going to weigh a bit on the European currency. In 12 minutes, we're going to have German manufacturing PMI. Okay, month to month and year over year. And in 42 minutes, we're going to have the manufacturing PMI, services PMI, and market composite PMI released in the Eurozone. Shortly after that, we're going to have the composite PMI and the manufacturing PMI and the services PMI announced on the pound again. So all eyes on the European currencies today, guys, and on the European indices till the US opening. Okay, as these numbers will definitely weigh heavily on the direction of the European currencies for today. Later on in the economic calendar, guys, we're going to have the producer manufacturing index and the services PMI announced on the US dollar only 15 minutes after the American opening today. And we are closing the week with the speculative net positions that are announced every end of the week. Now, back to some trading signals. Quick look at Forex, guys. Let's see how investing.com sees Forex today. Again, we see the euro and the pound set on a strong buy versus the US dollar this morning on a 5-minute chart. The 15-minute signal is neutral. Hourly is a strong sell and daily is a strong buy. So very mixed market opening as things stand right now. But I'm sure after the markets calm down in the next 15, 20 minutes to half an hour, yeah, we're going to see a direction from the markets. Yeah, all eyes are on the announcements that will follow in the economic calendar shortly in the European Union. We see the USD CHF in a strong sell on 3 of its 4 time frames. The Aussie dollar on a strong buy versus the US dollar. The euro apparently strengthening versus the pound. Okay, no clear direction for USD Canadian. We see the Kiwi dollar strengthening, strong buy on all 4 time frames versus the US dollar. Let's have a quick look at the Kiwi dollar, guys, on the charts. Bear with me for a second. Let's look for the Kiwi dollar. NZD USD is the symbol. There we go. Right, Kiwi dollar on a 60-minute charts, guys. We see the RSI and the stochastic pointing upwards. There's still a bit of room. There's still a bit of wiggle room for the RSI and as well as for the stochastic. If we increase the time frame to a daily chart, guys, we see the Kiwi dollar creating higher lows, okay, and higher highs by the looks of it. Most traders will probably eye the 0.6750 level. Yeah, we're somewhere in that region as their first take profit targets. As by the looks of it, the Kiwi dollar is looking to push through this support level, yeah, around the 0.6680 mark and settle higher. Okay, on the back of a weaker dollar, anything is possible. Going back to technical analysis, guys. Again, mixed opening today, mixed opening for the pound versus the Japanese yen, mixed opening for the pound versus the CHF. Okay, and very, very mixed opening for the European currencies versus the US dollar. Right, this is it for today, guys. This is it from my side. I'll come back live on Monday morning with the markets opening. Until then, remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money. Have a nice weekend, guys.